Welcome! Today we're going on a journey deep into India's fields to explore a quiet revolution that's unfolding. It's a really fascinating story about how technology and data are tackling a massive, multi-billion-dollar problem and, in the process, turning agriculture into a powerhouse of wealth and opportunity.
Okay, let's start with this number, because it's pretty staggering. $13 billion. That is the value of fresh produce that India loses every single year. I mean, it's an almost unimaginable amount of waste, and it really sets the stage for the monumental challenge we're talking about.
And this brings us to a huge paradox, right? India is an absolute agricultural superpower. It feeds over 1 billion people. So how on earth can it also be a place of such immense waste? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
To really understand this revolution, we first need to get our heads around the paradox itself. You see, India is an agricultural giant, but it's facing some pretty significant challenges that are holding it back from reaching its full potential on the world stage. It's really a tale of two realities. On one hand, you've got India as the world's largest milk producer and a top source for so many essential crops. But then you look at the flip side. Its share of global agricultural trade? Surprisingly small. Crop yields are way behind places like Europe. And even though almost half the population works in farming, the whole sector adds a pretty small piece to the national economic pie. It just goes to show you, massive production doesn't automatically mean global dominance or prosperity for everyone. So, right at the heart of this paradox is a problem that many people call the silent crisis. It's this incredible loss of food after it's been harvested. And it's a crisis that squanders not just food, but precious resources and, of course, income for farmers. Just try to picture this. 40 million tons. That's how much fresh food, fruits, vegetables, you name it, spoils every single year before anyone even gets a chance to buy it. And think about what that really means. It's not just lost food. It's wasted water, wasted energy, wasted land, and all the hard work of millions of farmers just gone. Now, what's really fascinating here is how this problem is spread out across the entire journey from the farm to your plate. Food gets lost during the harvest. It gets lost during transport. It spoils sitting in storage, and then even more gets lost at the final retail stage. It's a systemic problem with little cracks at every single step of the supply chain.
So you might be asking, why is this happening? Well, it really boils down to logistics. A mind-boggling 96% of perishable food never even sees a refrigerated truck or a cold warehouse. The connections between farmers and markets are often broken and super inefficient, which leads to long delays. On top of that, many small farmers just don't have modern tools, and produce gets damaged by rough handling and bad packaging.
But here's where the story takes a turn from the problem to the solution. A really powerful tech-fueled revolution is kicking off, and it's being driven by two main engines, agritech and a modern food processing industry. And they're both aiming to turn all of this waste into wealth. The big idea behind this whole revolution is something called precision agriculture. Basically, it's all about using data and technology, everything from drones to AI, to give crops exactly what they need right when they need it. This isn't about farming harder, it's about farming a whole lot smarter. Okay, let's look at a real-world example of this in action. In states like Andhra Pradesh, there are AI platforms now that are analyzing weather patterns and field data to predict pest outbreaks before they even happen. Then, they send early warning alerts straight to farmers' phones. And the impact? It's real, and it's measurable. This AI system has led to a 25% reduction in pesticide sprays. That means lower costs for farmers, fewer chemicals in the environment, and it's all happening while keeping crop yields the same. That's a huge win. And it doesn't stop there. Here's another absolute game changer: AI-powered robots. We've got startups building these incredible smart machines that can actually roll through fields, using cameras to tell the difference between a valuable crop and a pesky weed. And the result of this? These robotic weeders can cut down the need for chemical herbicides by an unbelievable 70%. This is a massive leap forward for sustainable farming. Just massive. Now, it's important to know that this tech revolution isn't just happening in a few isolated pockets. It's actually being supercharged by a huge government push to build a digital foundation for the entire agricultural sector. The main program here is called the Digital Agriculture Mission. And the goal is to create one unified digital ecosystem for farming, a kind of digital public infrastructure that connects every farmer and every single farm to one data-rich network. At the very heart of this mission is a concept they're calling AgriStack, and it's built on three simple but incredibly powerful pillars. First, a verified registry that gives every farmer a unique digital ID. Second,
digitally mapping every single farm plot in the country. And third, creating a real-time registry of what crops are being grown where. When you put all that together, you can deliver subsidies, credit, and farm-specific advice with pinpoint accuracy.
And trust me, this isn't just talk. As you can see from this chart, the government is putting its money where its mouth is. Investment in agriculture has jumped by nearly 6 times in the last decade. That level of funding really tells you just how high a priority this transformation is for the whole country.
So the big question is, how does all this tech and government support actually translate into real-world impact for farmers? And, what are the hurdles that still stand in the way of unlocking the sector's full global potential? Let's take a look.
This is where the rubber really meets the road. Because this isn't just theory, it directly impacts farmers' wallets. Take sugarcane farming, for example. Just by switching to a tech-enabled model, using tools like drip irrigation and IoT sensors, a farmer can boost their net return by over 30% per hectare. For a lot of families, that is a life-changing amount of money.
But it's not all smooth sailing. There are still major hurdles, especially when it comes to breaking into those high-value international markets. Look at the dairy sector. India is the biggest milk producer in the world, but this quote really shines a light on the challenge. Their products get rejected not because the milk is bad, but because of complex issues like improper labeling or using unapproved additives. It's a battle of regulations and paperwork that's holding them back.
And that brings us to our final question for today. We've seen this silent crisis of waste, and we've seen a powerful tech-fueled response. With technology and data now bridging those gaps all the way from the farm to the consumer's fork, it feels like all the pieces are falling into place. But can India overcome these final hurdles of infrastructure and regulation to truly fulfill its destiny as the world's sustainable food basket? Well, it looks like the journey has only just begun.